Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special segment on the Fortnightly Frontier podcast that we're calling Frontier Feature. I am your friendly neighborhood Darionator man. Over there is my loyal sidekick, Mireboy. And in between, nestled in a delicious sandwich of frontier justice, is Captain Richmond. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Pretty much, yes.
Yay! Yay!
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. And drink.
Meyer boy. I'll remember that, dude.
So, quick question: Where are you guys located? Meyer, you're in the UK.
Yep, London.
Okay, London
Yeah.
proper. And Darjanator, whereabouts are you?
I am from Slovenia. Yes, a land far, far away.
Across the pond.
Several of them.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It's several ponds. That's
Several
right.
ponds.
Right. Okay, so I think we should just start off, and I have the most important question for you, Captain Richard. Yes. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Who is your daddy, and what does he do?
He's a I don't know, a kindergarten teacher apparently. Yes, I think that should be right. No. Yeah, my father, he works for the military. He was a former Army officer for about 21 years, and so yeah, and I basically retired, and now he works as a civilian for the same people. Essentially, it comes full circle.
I don't think he was looking for a serious answer.
Well, I just bring it up because I literally we had our company party last night, and so yeah, I got to meet a lot of his coworkers and stuff like that. But yeah, that's
Awesome,
pretty much
awesome.
what he does.
Right. And who is his son?
I don't think we've discovered that just yet. It might be adopted. Yeah, no, yeah, that would be me, and that's actually I do the same thing. I work for the military over here in the United States, working for Uncle Sam. So yeah, it's pretty challenging, but pretty fun and all sorts of stuff. Keeps me employed.
Awesome.
Right. So just jumping through the list of questions. So apparently you don't do stream time full time.
No,
Stream time full time. Yes, those are the words I want to use.
right, yeah. Just I'm a Twitch partner, and but I just stream part time. 5 nights a week, just for a couple hours, and it's fun. It's not for full time streaming, it really does become kind of an issue where it's like, yeah, you want to have fun while streaming, but it's also you have to pay your bills and stuff like that. So it's just the flip side of only being able to stream part time is like, well, I know my day job covers all the other stuff that I have to take care of, and then streaming I can just focus on having fun streaming. So that's it's a little bit of give and take, but that's fine.
Yeah. So when do your nights end then? Because like you have a full-time job and then every day of the, every working day you're streaming. So like when do you go to bed? When do you wake up?
Well, that's that. Yeah, I mean, it's get up at like 7 a.m. and then just between working, commuting, and streaming goes till about 11 p.m. and then try to go to bed by midnight. So yeah, just Monday through Fridays, I have a pretty packed schedule. Yeah, just trying to make all that work. But after 2 years of doing it, it's kind of feels kind of natural at this point. So yeah. Yeah, so that's it does take a lot of dedication, but again, it's what I look forward to doing every day. So, what was it? What they say? Yeah, if you man, my train of thought, it was like chugga, 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 just derailed. No, if you love what you do, you won't work a day in your life. So
Yes, because
Indeed.
nobody's hiring.
yeah, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people still trying to make it out there on Twitch to do this as a career. But so far, I'm just doing it for fun. Yeah, hanging out with people and that kind of thing.
So how did you come about your name? It can't be as easy as your first name being Richard and you being a captain in the army. Because we've been burned before by people with names similar to yours, and they have nothing to do with who they actually are.
Yeah, well, I mean, just that's actually it. That's pretty much all it is. Yeah, no, and I just the whole joke is I like to tell people that Richard's my last name. My first name is Jean-Luc, so it's Jean-Luc Richard. Captain Richard, sort of. Yeah, I
see.
grew up being kind of a big Star Trek: The Next Generation fan. But yeah, no, that's
Good choice.
Really, there really is no exciting story behind it. Just Richard, I want to be a captain of starships and Star Citizen, and so Captain Richard was born, and it seems to work okay.
Awesome. That's cool. Nice and straightforward. So
Simple name for
Yeah.
a simple man.
so You're so you're an entertainer, you're on Twitch, etc. So what are you doing now? Like projects, etc. Like do you do anything else apart from Twitch, like YouTube, etc., or are you like just main hardline on Twitch at the moment?
Yeah, I again just having such a busy schedule between streaming and working. I haven't really tackled projects, any kind of projects or even hobbies really outside of doing this, because it really has been become a big part of my life, just streaming on Twitch.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, if you said, "Hey, you're going to spend the next 2 years with spending most of your free time hanging out with people, playing the games on the internet," I'd have been like, "Oh, what?" but yeah, it's so ingrained right now that I just focus on Twitch. I've actually revolved my working schedule around the Twitch stream. Just instead of vice versa, just because this is what I enjoy doing. So that's it's more important.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a weird world we're living in. Before Star Citizen became such a part of your life, did you do a lot of gaming?
Oh yeah. Just man, ever since I was a kid, much to my father's chagrin, when he got me a Nintendo and I played Super Mario Brothers day after day after day after day. No, but as far back as I can remember, did PC gaming. Just some of the earliest titles for space games on Commodore 64. Actually, is where I started off before we even had what was it, like 386 and 486 PCs. Yeah, I've been kind of a PC gamer most of my life, and yeah, that's kind of. It's still right now. I don't even own any consoles. I have like a 3DS, but mostly been a PC gamer growing up.
Awesome. So, like, how did you hear about Star Citizen? Like, and when?
Oh, well, actually, again, just from having grown up with a kind of a particular liking for sci-fi and space games, I actually did play some of Chris Roberts' earlier games, such as Privateer. Got into Wing Commander series at Wing Commander 3, did that in Wing Commander 4. So I was actually familiar with his previous games. But I didn't hear about Star Citizen until a buddy of mine, who's actually the guy who got me into streaming in the first place, said, "Hey, you remember that guy who did Wing Commander? He's coming out with apparently some new big MMO space game." And so we're like, okay, cool. So we were checking out WC News, which is a site that Ben Lesnick, of course, co-founded. And yeah, just from there, kind of followed the project casually, because it had been some time since Chris Roberts had actually been creating video games. He left after Freelancer to go be a movie producer, and so just kind of kept an eye on it casually. And my buddy, he told me, he's like, "Hey, his project is on Kickstarter now. You should go kickstart it, or get a package or something like that." And I was at work when he told me that. We were using Instant Messenger, and I was like, "Okay, cool. All right, it was a starter package, like an Aurora starter package back then was like $25 or $30 or something." And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go home and I'll pick one of those up." Went home, promptly forgot about it. I did not remember to kickstart that project. That was back when Kickstarter was still kind of new, So,
right? Yeah.
So yeah, I missed it. I completely whiffed on that one until the Kickstarter was over. Ended up backing. Right after I think the veteran backer program had just ended, so I got in right after that. So kind of a mild regret, but hey, now, well, it's, like I said, yeah, it's been over 2 years. Actually, it was November 2013, I think I got into the project. So yeah, and now I've been.
That's the same month as me.
Okay, yeah. So that's when I was like, oh damn it, I missed the Kickstarter, and finally got in.
Twinsies.
Yay. So, do you now play any other games apart from Star Citizen, or is it all-consuming?
Well, so, just streaming the game in its alpha state 5 nights a week, I would say is almost sufficient, because I actually do play Star Citizen on the weekends as well, because it's a different experience. I'm sure the both of you know gaming while streaming has kind of a different vibe than just being like, I'm just going to sit here all by myself and, have a drink and just start gaming a little bit. You don't have that extra concern of like, oh my gosh, people are watching me. Oh my God, it should probably not be dumb and weird. But I'll do that anyways, but that's okay. And so I do that, but also I play a lot of games on weekends. Yeah, that's usually because that's my free time. I like survival games, zombie survival games. Try to check out other sci-fi and space games as well, and maybe a little bit of World of Warcraft when I can squeeze it in. So yeah. But yeah, man, it's just that has pretty much been my main hobby for the longest time. It's just gaming, particularly on PC. Not to say that I don't like consoles. There's PS3 and PS4 titles that I actually have enjoyed, using other friends' systems, but mostly it's been PC gaming.
Right. So, my question now would be, what made you want to further involve yourself in Star Citizen? What made you make the jump? I mean, I guess you said you were a streamer before you were a Star Citizen streamer. What made you want to kind of like reach out to people in that way? And then once you got into Star Citizen, what made you kind of want to stay, to be part of the community, that kind of thing? What drove you? What were the driving factors?
No, that's a hell of a question.
But well, I mean, to me, it's first things first. I actually started streaming because of Star Citizen. I had a buddy of mine, again, who he had streamed on Twitch for actually a couple years. He streamed games like Final Fantasy 14 and PlanetSide 2, and he was like, you should consider try streaming sometime. So I think I did it once, maybe once or twice. I streamed DayZ. As I was really active in the DayZ scene, if you want to call it that. I was a moderator for a server for over a year. So, and that's
okay.
Yeah. But I was like, streaming's not for me. But he's like, you should, really try to stream. So Star Citizen had of course come out. Our Arena Commander 1.0 had come out. What was that, in July of 2014?
14, yeah. I was in there just before. Yeah.
So I'd been playing it, and there was a couple folks streaming the game. Geek Domo had Starcast, I think, at that time. There was folks like Bod699, Bad News Baron, a couple of people who were streaming, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I should try doing this. I'm really having fun with Star Citizen. I should maybe consider streaming it as well. So yeah, I never been responsible as far as punctuality and having schedules and that sort of thing. But I told myself, all right, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna go hardcore on it. And I told myself I'm gonna do this Monday through Friday, to at least 2 hours a night, same game, same time every night. And I don't know how. It's like pure magic that I actually stuck with that. I've stuck with that for over 2 years now. And what kept me going is it was just simply fun. It was fun. I mean, Star Citizen has a fantastic community. It's everybody.
It does, yeah.
It's everybody having their hopes and dreams for the game, that it's going to be just get not only the best damn space sim ever, but let us live out all those sci-fi starship fantasies that we've had growing up, where we haven't really had a lot of games that have been as in depth as Star Citizen is going to be.
Yeah, 5 days a week is a lot of commitment. I mean, I know some streamers out there who just can't do it, But that's amazing, and kudos for the constant, the work and effort that you put into the community. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's you do have to sacrifice kind of a lot to maintain that kind of schedule. Missing parties or birthday parties, or you're telling your friends, it's like, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna be streaming this game. They're like, oh, it's my friend's boyfriend's uncle's get together anniversary bash, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I've got other plans. So just having to make those sacrifices for your schedule, and just I honestly not seeing my family as much as they would like, and just. Yeah, so yeah. I that's why I typically, except for right now and other times, jumping out on the other podcasts, I don't normally stream on weekends, because that's the other side of the non-streaming side, where you get to hang out with your family and friends and sort of stuff. So, but yeah, that's been great. Like I said, the Star Citizen community is very, very supportive of just pretty much anybody who does anything related to Star Citizen, and there's a lot of us out there. So it's again, it's really the bottom line is I keep doing it because it's fun. People make me laugh, and hopefully I can provide some entertainment every evening as well.
Well, I've been a follower for quite a while now, and I can say that you are as good as, or even more good as you hope you are.
Kiss ass.
Not all.
Call me later.
Okay, next question up. You said that your work and Star Citizen streaming does take up a lot of your time, but do you have maybe any upcoming projects that you can talk about that are maybe related to Star Citizen, but not actually just streaming, maybe something more?
I wish. I mean, I gotta be honest. It's I would like to do stuff, do more things for, I guess, the YouTube side of stuff. But really, it's just I stream, and then I try to hang out with people or play games on weekends that aren't Star Citizen related. So
Have there been any like non-personal projects that you've been in the past though?
Any voiceover work, maybe?
Well, yeah, I mean, I did a little bit of voiceover work for the Star Citizen fan film Vengeance of the Damned, a couple other things as well. But yeah, no, it really is fairly all-encompassing. I've really just revolved my life around this project now. So it's been very good to me. It's been very, very fun. You know, I've had the opportunity to work directly with CIG for a couple live events, and so yeah, it's really. Anything I do these days seems to tie back in some way, shape, or form back to Star Citizen.
Yeah.
So.
And that also segues nicely into this next question. And since you are such a big part of the Star Citizen community, even the CIG community team wants you to be in on just about everything. Have you ever thought you'd reach the spotlight in this way?
And how does it feel up there?
Yes. In that strata of celebrity status.
It honestly, guys, it really doesn't feel any different. I just like having fun. So by extension of that, I want other people to have fun as well. And yeah, it's just keeping positive vibes and all that stuff going. So to me, as long as it stays fun, I will keep doing it. And so far, it's looking pretty solid that it will be.
Awesome. So like, how was it though? Like during Gamescom, because like you flew over there to Germany, and then like you were there, representing Star Citizen on the Intel booth. I mean, like, were you nervous, or were you just like, I got this? How was it?
The first day was pretty intense because I'd streamed live from CIG Austin once previously, but that was very, very casual, very low key.
Yeah,
but this is legitimately representing Cloud Imperium Games and their main project, Star Citizen, in front of a very large in-person crowd and also a very large internet presence. So yeah, that first day was like, oh my god. But yeah, you kind of get back into that streaming vibe where if you've done it for a long time, it starts to get very comfortable. And that number where it starts seeing like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people tuned in, you're like, oh my gosh! But then you're just like, that's just a lot of people that hopefully you can have fun with them as you're streaming the game. So yeah, it was a very, very busy schedule. I think. Surfy Girl's in chat right now, so she probably knows as well that it's. You might see all the stuff that's going on, of course, when the stream is live, but there's a lot of stuff going behind the scenes as well. And that schedule, especially for Gamescom, ended up being very, very packed. So yeah, we most nights we were only getting about 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and it was like back up and get ready and get everything all set up again. So it's really exciting. Again, a very, very awesome experience. It was definitely a lot of work behind the scenes, but if I had to do it again or would do it again, absolutely I would.
So in the end, not much blood in your caffeine system then.
No. Because they had these Star Citizen bar citizens over there in Cologne as well, and so it was just from the moment you get up till going back to the hotel room after the streaming and the get-togethers and the bar citizens, it was just jam-packed every day. So yeah, it was very, very, like I said, very, very busy, but still, again, very awesome experience.
Any funny anecdotes from the event, or is all NDA?
Secretly, some of the guys and on CIG and streamers were horribly obsessed with getting this. Apparently, the way Pokemon Go works is there are specific Pokemon that are only available in certain areas of the world. So while we were there, I think it was Twerk and DJ and Disco and Baron were obsessed with finding this like specific Pokemon guy, and it wasn't until. It was after the streaming, after the show during the day, after a bar citizen, and we were walking around probably close to midnight. They finally got a hit on this specific Pokemon, so we were like going around all these German back alleys, and finally they nabbed him. And Twerk on his phone, he had only like 1% power left, and he managed to nab that Mr. Mime Pokemon. And you never seen grown men get fully excited for like a little clown cartoon Pokemon guy. They're like, oh, we got him. So again, that's kind of a fun bonding experience, but also just kind of a weird thing. I never played Pokemon Go, so I was like, good job, guys.
Well done. You should have taken Brian Chambers with you. I think he's pretty big on Pokemon Go, at least with his family and stuff. He mentioned that before, I think. Like he goes with his family and like they go catch Pokemon. You could have, yeah.
Yeah, I got to hang out with Brian a little bit. He was actually staying in the same hotel we were. So.
All right. Okay. How
Yeah,
was
he's
it
a really good one.
How was
That
it meeting those guys though?
Oh yeah, I mean, again, pretty much everyone that I've met from CIG is kind of share a commonality in that we're all very super intrigued and obsessed with the project. The difference is they actually work on it. I'm just like a mega fan, like oh my gosh, that whole thing. So no, but everyone there was great. Again, got to meet a lot of folks from the Frankfurt office. Like Brian and Todd Pappy and a few other folks. So it was, again, wonderful experience.
Awesome, man. I wish I was there, but hopefully I'll be there for more things next year.
I actually would have been there, but they said they weren't going to do Gamescom for the longest time. So then, I said, yeah, fine, I'll go to CitizenCon. So I, invested all my money in that, all, the airfare and, the accommodations and everything. And then they said they're doing an event that's much closer to my home and much easier for me to get to. And I was like, oh. Yeah, so I didn't go. I've been to the two previous ones. That was great. Loved it. But yeah, kind of disappointed didn't go.
Well, hopefully, next year, Are you going to PAX South? I think you are, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean that's hopefully the plan. I did get a 3-day pass for it. I'm just trying to work out all the other the other personal sides of actually getting myself down there. So hopefully, hopefully I'll be able to hang out there because I understand a lot of folks from the Star Citizen community, a lot of folks from Test are planning on going. So hopefully we'll be able to make that happen. This year I made it to all 3 PAXs, East, South, and West, and then I did like another 7 conventions on top of that. So I actually did 10 conventions this year. Kind of did that whole circuit.
That is crazy. That is immense.
That was a little tough, but it was awesome. It was kind of a personal goal more than anything. I was like, you know what, this year I want to do the convention circuit, and I didn't even hit all of them. Like Dragon Con or E3 or Comic Con, just specifically more of the video game oriented ones. But yeah, I finally made it out to 10 conventions, and the last one I went to was BlizzCon, where I went to BlizzCon for the very first time, and that was actually
kick-ass.
10th anniversary of BlizzCon, 20th anniversary of Diablo, and a few other special events there.
It has been 20 years already. Wow. I remember playing that. I remember loving playing that. I'm actually replaying Diablo 3 right now. So yeah, it's 20 years. Wow.
Did you meet any? Go on.
I was just say, I played Diablo when it was new. So that's if I'm dating myself here, then yeah.
Yeah. Well, I played it new-ish, because back then the entire internet infrastructure and the whole thing was pretty much non-existent in the country. So if you wanted to get games like this, you had to be very creative. So it took a while.
I remember trying to buy Diablo, and then I got turned away for being too young. Because it's an 18-plus game, isn't it? Well, at least in the UK when it came out. Anyway.
Going back to events, are you coming to Frankfurt CitizenCon? Maybe?
That is a big maybe. Because, I'd like to. I think that would be very, very fun. I've mentioned a couple times on stream that my mother is actually from Germany, so I do have relatives over there. And it would be kind of cool. Let's just call it a logistics issue. So, yeah, we'll have to see. If I can make it over there, I think it'll be, again, a very, very awesome time. We'll just have to wait and see on that one.
Great. If you can come, I'd love to meet you again. And like I said in a previous episode, there will be a pancake day at Test House.
Okay. And more Testahol.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I have a bottle right over here.
My bottle is over there. I actually need to send it to somebody. I still haven't, but yes. More
beautiful stuff.
Testahol.
It's still blind in my right eye from trying it the first time, so it's a little blurry.
So yeah, if anybody who is watching either on Twitch or YouTube is going down to Gamescom, it's gonna be an awesome time. So if you're not thinking about it, that's what I said in my head. So, if you're not thinking about going down, reconsider. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be crazy. So yeah. I guess going back to Star Citizen now, because this is a Star Citizen podcast, I guess, at least sometimes. So as a streamer, like pretty much I'll say a full-time streamer, 5 days a week, you must follow development quite a lot. You do Star Citizen news on your stream whenever you start. So
Had a
you're
question
always
about that as well, but I'll let Meyer speak for now.
you're always like on top of that and stuff. So like, what has been the biggest surprise in development for you, going back, as far as you want? What has been the biggest dev surprise with Star Citizen for you?
I would say probably easily it would be when 2.0 came out way earlier than expected. They just kind of dropped that out. So like, oh, by the way, here's 2.0. Here's the next major iteration of the game. Here's the mini PU, just kind of like the embryo stage of the bigger universe. And just again, everyone was like, wait, what? How did you guys drop this on us already? And so I think that just blew everyone's minds, and just thousands of people were tuning into Twitch to see people playing it. People were on the edge of their seats waiting for like CIG to talk about it, just anything about it. And then finally PTU and then live release, everyone was like, wow, that was the big point where everyone was like, this is actually happening. Some people felt like Arena Commander just wasn't sufficient enough to show what Star Citizen was supposed to be all about, Squadron 42 and that sort of thing. But really, when 2.0 dropped and we finally got access to, a small part of the verse, it's still, that was the oh my gosh, this is actually happening moment. So that would probably be so far one of my favorite moments from Star Citizen's history thus far. Other than this is bullshit. that moment, that was also good. I got to see that in person. That was fun.
Helmet.
Helmet? Helmet. Oh yeah, that's I remember that now. It's a shame we don't have the flip up helmet anymore. Hopefully that'll come back.
Yeah, well, in the future when the inventory system is in, you will be able to take various pieces of clothing on, and I'm sure
Item 2.0.
Yes, item 2.0. And when you're putting your helmet on, maybe it'll be like in was it in Battlefield or in Call of Duty? Once every 10,000 reloads, you had this special weird reload. So maybe every 1,000 times you put your helmet on, it would do this fancy flip animation.
Yeah, I actually know what you're talking about. That would be kind of cool.
So,
go on.
I was going to say, okay, so from streamer to streamer, like we all have our different routines, before we start a stream, that kind of thing. For me, I hyperventilate, I maybe kill a goat or two, have a blood sacrifice every now and then, perhaps cry into a cup and then, drink it to get my courage back. What do you do? What is your routine before a stream?
Mostly it's hopefully starting on time, because I just, I live and work in the DC metro area, and the traffic here is just horrible all the time. So usually it's mostly just a race to get home and get everything situated. I'd say the biggest aspect is setting up Star Citizen Nightly News. Again, just I start off every stream just going over what happened in every weekday for Star Citizen, whether officially or unofficially, stuff from the community as well. So I set that up, and then just mentally, I have an opening theme song that's from one of my favorite electronic artists, by a guy by the name of Square Pusher. And that song, you would think listening to the same song 1,000 times at this point would get kind of old, but no, it's still every single time it pumps me up, and then I just get really fired up for streaming. And to me, it's the best part of the day, because it's what I look forward to. I just getting to see everybody in chat, hang out, and have some fun in Star Citizen.
I was gonna ask you, how do you do it? We've been doing this podcast, Myra and I, for over a year, and I've been doing it for like 3 years now, and we do it every
4.
2 weeks. Well, we're in year 4, so we've completed 3 years, but that's beside the point. We do it every 2 weeks, and every time we start recording, I am afraid that we'll struggle to fill our time slot with content. How do you manage to go every weekday talking about stuff?
Well, I would say I think that was probably That was probably maybe some of the evolution for Star Citizen Nightly News, because at that point you are talking about anything that is newsworthy, notable, that is, I guess, brand new as of that day. So for me, it's nice to be able to start off with that. But as far as playing Star Citizen every day in its current state, I would say that one of the things that I look forward to for the game, other than the content and the quests and missions that'll be provided to us, you really do get to make your own adventures in this game. You get to use your imagination, and it's because of that you can kind of figure out weird things to do, or odd challenges, or just get people together and kind of brainstorm wacky things to do in game. So half of it is playing the stuff that's intended to be played as is. The other half of it is finding out, okay, how can we break this game today? So just have fun with the alpha, and that is it does get tough from time to time. Coming up with fun things to do. But again, now from doing this for a couple years, there's a lot of people that tune in and will actually suggest things to try out. It's like, why don't we try doing this today? It's like, okay, that's a great idea. I don't think anyone's ever tried that before. All right, let's do it. Then usually explosions happen, and a lot of people have fun with it. So that's kind of the day to day. And of course, we're all looking forward to 2.6 coming out, so that just will provide more opportunities to take some of the newer stuff that's going to be in the game. And again, usually we can figure out some weird things to do in the game, and it keeps it nice and fun.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I mean, just today, Moira and I were trolling the Ring of Yella, freelancer, just looking for those wrecks, trying to get as much alpha UC as possible.
Don't tell people that.
Why not?
Because then they'd be like, why didn't you stream it, you asshole?
Because we don't want to oversaturate your channel with streaming, and today we were streaming this, so...
Good answer.
Yeah.
I guess
so what is... No. I was actually going to go to a new question, but you had a follow-up, so please do continue.
I was just going to ask him, so after that, what is your favorite thing to do in Star Citizen?
My question.
Well, actually, that is a very, very good question. In the early days, I would have said racing, because I did not super serious, but I really did do a lot of racing because I actually thought it was very, very fun. These days, I don't know. I'd like to get people together in game, especially on multi-crew ships, and do kind of a little bit of less than serious role play. Just kind of take a kind of a skewed approach to being the captain of a ship, and getting people to basically follow me into just very silly battle, I guess you could say. And again, usually it ends up with a lot of explosions and people having to respawn. But that's anything that I could do to bring people together in the game. Get people out of Twitch chat and actually into the games, and see if we could have some strange but good times in game. Ships like the Constellation, the Starfarer especially, makes that very, very easy. So, and really, that's just looking forward to Star Citizen getting bigger and having more areas available to us. Just the possibilities. Yeah, that we already know is going to be taking place, because again, like when 2.0 dropped, and then later 2.4, 2.5, where just more content is being added. Just it gets my gears turning. Just the whole Reading Rainbow style imagination, it starts to unfold. That I get giddy for that kind of stuff, and that fuels me. Again, doing that 5 nights a week can get tough at times, but it's that concept, the joy of getting to extend your imagination and just kind of be immersed in that verse. That's what fuels me. That's what keeps me going.
Awesome.
Amazing. Yeah, awesome. I try to do that as well. I don't really stream because I don't have the capacity to stream in a private environment, but when it comes to playing for myself, I do the same thing you do. Yeah. And I do play every day, and it hasn't stopped ever since ever since 2.0 hit. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so what is your favorite thing about Star Citizen overall? Not just what you can do, but maybe from development and lore and the company even. Or is that the same answer as before?
I don't know. That's a very very open-ended question. It's like, other than the thing that you like about Star Citizen, what else do you also like about Star Citizen? It's like,
Well, the previous question had more to do what you can actually do in game right now, but there's also a lot of other aspects to Star Citizen.
Yeah, I guess the question is like, so Star Citizen right now we have, is the alpha, but there is a lot that's been promised with Star Citizen, certain features, like I don't know, like bikinis or butts. What so
And
in the
space
future,
dogs.
what are you looking forward to most? I suppose with the development of Star Citizen that maybe we've been told about, maybe you're kind of speculative about, maybe you have some idea, maybe that's what you want to do in the verse, that kind of thing.
yeah. Well, I was actually going to go off on a kind of a separate tangent there, but looking forward, it would probably be captaining very very large multi ships. I want to be just, again, growing up having watched a ridiculous amount of Star Trek, and just being the captain of a ship, having the ship that you take out to all these different places. And if you ever watched a lot of it, it's like, how can one ship and one crew of folks get into so many weird situations? And then playing Star Citizen, where even if you have just a smaller ship and small crew of people, you still get into a lot of weird situations. So I'm looking forward to the whole, just the larger scale of everything, where it actually does take time to get from point A to point B, different systems, even through wormholes and that, but also having a lot more people that you can bring with you on, just your capital ships. Like, I have a couple of Idrises, a Polaris, 890 jumps, so I have a few things I'm looking forward to being able to get a lot of people on and have fun. You kind of again, when it was kind of a more open-ended question, you asked, what else do you like about Star Citizen? I like that it also brings people together in real life, just like, for instance, I've got to meet both of you guys because of Citizen Con, and then also other live gaming events where there have been parties, for test, or even hanging out with folks from Bad News Gaming or Redacted or whatever. That is all because of Star Citizen for the most part. So again, that is one of the best concepts about it, is that I used to never go to conventions, really. I would think I went to PAX East for the very first time to go be at the first Star Citizen live event. And I used to never go to gaming conventions before that. And now I've gone to a bunch of them. I've got to meet a whole lot of people from Twitch, the Star Citizen community, other gaming communities, community managers from other game developers, getting to speak with folks from the industry like Intel or XSplit, or just, a bunch of different folks. And I would have never, ever done any of that if it wasn't for Star Citizen. So that's why I'm very thankful to be involved in this project, in this community, and that sort of thing. So that's, again, for me, one of the favorite things about this from having joined into this.
I'm actually the same, just the same. The two Gamescoms I went to, I actually just went because I was in the area. I don't think at the time I was taking it that seriously. So I was like 100 kilometers away. We're already in Germany. Let's just go. We're going for one night, just for the event. And then 2 years later, I'm finding myself thinking, it's just England. We can get there if we drive for 2 days. So we went, and we also did, some other stuff in England, just, as you do.
Partying with Meyer, man, it's good times partying with Meyer. He's got the hookup.
Jolly good. Very right, yes.
Just but then this year, I don't know when the switch happened, but I found myself actually seriously thinking of going for the first time of the continent, and it's because of Star Citizen.
Exciting, wasn't it?
I don't think even 2 years ago, if somebody told me, this game is going to make you actually make new friends and go to another continent, I don't think I would have taken them seriously. So
yeah, to many, I feel like Star Citizen is it's more than a game on many a level. I mean, yeah, it is. It's more than a game to me, at least. Without Star Citizen, I would never have been able to meet the people, meet you guys, I'm just going to repeat what you say, meet you guys and, go places, see things I wouldn't have done before, smell things I would never have smelled before.
Yeah.
Used pork rinds.
Yes, indeed.
Secondhand tacos.
Butterflies and roses. Butterflies and roses. Don't sell yourself short. I've been with you, in a confined space after a burger. So yeah, I know.
And live to
exactly
tell the
what that
tale.
is.
Yes.
Exactly. If they were as bad as you say, this would be Far Nightly Frontier would be a solo venture by Meyer.
With a gas mask. So I think one last question, I suppose, would be
Yes, I
what
will
are you
marry
looking
you.
forward-
Yes.
Oh, awesome. You hear that, Fall?
Wow, I don't think I've ever heard anyone respond to yes I'll marry you with, oh, awesome.
That's totally how it's going to go down, I swear. Anyway, so what are you looking forward to with 2.6 most? I mean, 2.6, 3.0, but let's not think further. What are you looking forward to with that?
The near future.
I mean, yeah, because 3.0 is going to be huge. I mean, there's a reason why they changed the title of it from 2.7 to 3.0.
Exactly.
It's just really that next huge step in the evolution of the game. For 2.6, I was mentioning this yesterday. Just of course, Star Marine is the big addition for 2.6. I'm definitely gonna play it. Definitely want to check it out. But again, I'm kind of a ship collector, kind of a ship fiend. So I'm looking forward to checking out the new ships, the Caterpillar, which I didn't even get one initially. I got one later on as part of one of the larger packages. But the 85X, the Drake Herald. The Drake Herald was unveiled like 2 years ago, something like that, as part of the concept sale. So just looking forward to playing with that, and again the 85X, which is kind of the sports car runabout thing for the 890 jump, and so just kind of just not to be like too generic, but looking forward to playing with the new ships.
Awesome.
And I think we've reached almost the very end. Not almost, but not completely. The very end of the stream. So we have some quick fire questions. You have but 3 seconds to reply to each. What is your favorite Star Citizen ship?
The Freelancer Max.
What is your favorite Star Citizen role?
Explosion Coordinator.
What is your favorite non-Star Citizen ship?
Non-Star Citizen ship.
Too late.
I had to process the question. I was like, wait, this is non-Star Citizen. How does that work in the game? It's like, oh yeah, it's not the game, you fool. I would say probably just the classic X-Wing. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so.
Awesome. Banu or Xi'an?
Xi'an.
Sandworm or Space Whale?
Damn it. Space Whale. Let's go Space Whale.
Picard or Obi-Wan?
This one's easy.
Picard. Yeah, I'd have to go with Picard.
And where can we find you online?
You can find me online at twitch.tv/Meyer_test. Yeah, just be sure to tune in there. I think that'd be perfect.
I think that is correct, yes.
I think that's where we are right now, as a matter of fact.
Indeed.
Indeed we are. Okay, and that is it for second episode of Frontier Feature.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for having me on. No, sorry, it was a little bit of a scheduling snafu last weekend, but again, thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to join podcasts and just ramble on about Star Citizen stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, it's
Thank you
always
so much
fun
for joining
to talk
us,
about
dude.
Star Citizen with new people. Most of the time, we get people who just align with our views of it, just pretty much all the time. But, from time to time, it's really nice to have someone who shines a new light on the subject. So always fun having new people. And, I'm giving you an extended invitation to come back on the show anytime you want.
Thank you, sir.
Run while you can.
You say thank you, but your eyes say no.
All depends. Is more Testahol involved? Yeah.
Definitely.
Could be arranged. Yes, indeed. We need to think of Testahol, I guess 2947 brand label.
Yes, maybe 47% ABV this time, not 42.
Yes, because this was amazingly done, by the way. For how long did this take? Like a day to design?
Yeah, I think a day, and then 2 days to get it printed.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Yes, but anyway, this has been Frontier Feature Episode 2. I have been Darionator. Over there on the other side has been Meyer of Test, and in between, Richard, Captain Richard.
Hello.
The currently wet one because of Meyer's
affections.
Yes.
You
Anyway,
can go with that, yes.
so thank you so much for So thank you so much for tuning in on Twitch and on YouTube, and we will see you in the verse.
In the verse.